Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wondrous, another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, not affected by wartime rationing like the other casts are. We shall be having a 2 vs 2 right here on Redcoh, yes indeed, Redcoh, in the summertime. We shall be watching in the northern part Kapare and Redcoh fighting for the Soviet Union for the 425th Mechanized Brigade, going up against Verenor and Wehrmacht's 9th Army. I think the Wehrmacht is a bit superfluous considering he's playing the Germans right now. I mean, it's not like he's going to be confused with the Italians. And the old ending here, the Verenor has gone straight on for mechanized assault. Onwards, meine Soldaten with the MP40s.
Grenadiers, our assault grenadiers await your order to deploy, Commander.
So it's so far spreading out. Germans as well. Wehrmacht heading over there, and we'll just call him Hans because it's a bit awkward to call him Wehrmacht. So Hans moving towards the right hand side. Point there being secured.
Pioneer squad.
Obviously, we're actually seeing an infantry company up, so he's actually going to be supporting his assault grenadiers early on. Interesting.
Pioneers.
Einsatzbereit.
Interessant. Points there being secured. Russians moving ahead a bit aggressively there. And no, either of them actually going for some sort of early weapon support company start or special rifle command start.
Yes?
Took me a bit of time actually to find today's replay. Got a lot of replays actually. All of a sudden I got 8 in my mailbox this morning, which was grand. Less grand though was a lot of them were a bit of a not so interesting slugging match with nothing really special to comment on, I'm afraid. But there we go, moving on here to an engagement. Pioneers versus combat engineers. Combatants rather find themselves a bit miffed after they find themselves on the outside, getting shot at through the windows. Bit exposed, in fact. MG42 are arriving for Verenor, although we do see Hans is moving up with MG42. Grenadiers going out. Conscript taking up position in the houses. A bit of house-to-house fighting going on between the two sides. So far the Russians are gaining the chunk of the map we've seen. Assault grenadiers could stand to actually assault a bit. Maybe move over to support the left side. Now getting some regular grenadiers up here for Verenor. Interesting.
MG support standing by.
We are ready for
There you
action.
go, assault goes pushing up. We're seeing here that Hans is moving on pretty aggressively with his pioneers up the center. Also, these combat units could easily stand to get out of the house and, for example, mine around here. That would be a great job. We're trying to make it harder for the Germans to advance. Pioneers being pushed away there by the conscripts. And the combat engineers, on the other hand, a bit of trouble with the MG42, need to retreat. And special rifle command going up here for Kapare. 1 MG42, 1 assault grenadier, 1 grenadier. He could easily call in some more assault grenadiers now. Mortar firing away, light machine gun on the grenadiers. House being mortared. And the conscripts are making a direct run here, a beeline for the mortar. The grenadiers being forced away. But the house collapses with everyone inside of it, it would look like. A bit unfortunate there for the ones inside. Less unfortunate for the Germans.
Taking fire.
There we go, assault grenadiers versus conscripts in a 1 vs 1. The assault grenadiers will win unless the conscripts have some good positions. Or the assault grenadiers engage for range for some reason. But there we go, more conscripts moving in. Looks like Verenor is playing a bit cautiously with his assault grenadiers, not pushing in for an assault. Surprise, surprise. Bit of vicious engagement over here so far. The map is already getting a bit scattered in terms of map control. Conscripts pushing ahead, but now going to engage grenadiers and assault grenadiers. And for some reason, the grenadiers are the ones moving up close, whereas the assault grenadiers are staying a bit of range. There you go, taking up positions. Molotov going off in the assault grenadiers, quickly ending the life of Fritz. And Franz goes down over on the right-hand side with an MG42 opening up here. The conscripts, one squad all of a sudden getting decimated.
What do you need?
Forced to move back. And looks like here that Redcoh is opening force. It looks like both are actually going for a special rifle command. That's a bit more novel. usually you'd see one player, both players go for the special or support them company nowadays, but now both of them are going for special rifle commands, not support them companies. Whatever. And there go the Grenadiers, got wiped out. There we go. Hitting. And there we go. Of course, we see the Verenor has one huge weakness. Of course, Johnson is taking up, but there we go. He is very, very weak to scout cars. He's very weak to vehicle assaults. Assault Grenadiers trying to assault Grenadier. The scout car, not really a successful solution. Other scout car ready. A third scout car ready. And there we go. The Mechanized Brigade showing its fangs, baring its teeth.
Mechanized assault groups commander.
Causing a lot of problem. We do see machine gun bunker up here for Verenor. We also see the Mechanized company up, but there's definitely some problems here. Fire being poured down the bunker. And Fritz here regretting signing up for bunker duty. Looks like Hans here, in fact, let's pop over to him, has a rather light force, although looks like he is ready to add up some forces to it. And by the way, what were the Germans? Or let's just say Kampfgruppe Müller. Forgot about that, but half out, scout car following up. They're very light, though, very light tier 1. We're actually noticing here he's gone for the infantry doctrine. The infantry doctrine, which is one of the Tales of Valor of Theatre of War doctrines made available. Fun fact there, scout cars unleashing hell. Again, very mechanized force up here for the Soviet players. Rare to see that nowadays, but handle probably can be devastating. Of course, you shouldn't engage in the Grenadiers, but go after the weak, soft, squishy targets like, say, this mortar. Well done there, and the Germans definitely a bit exposed towards that. Half-tech moving up, scout car needs to pull back. Oh, catching half the Grenadier squad there on fire. Getting Panzerfausted though. Redcoh not handling his scout car as well as he could have. And the half-tech reinforcing the mortar apparently. Hans here not pulling back his forces despite everything. And now the scout cars around me all seeing an officer out. He's actually using the officer. Mein Gott, wunderbar. Troops hanging about here. Conscript squad up here looks like Kapare is playing a bit defensively in some regards. Very aggressively in other regards. In fact, also managed to steal himself an MD-42. No, that's Redcoh. Never mind. And we're seeing here counter-attack going in from Verenor. Assault gun is being supported by a Pioneer force. Scout car going to hunt down the Soviet one. M3A1 will need to pull away. Drive, comrades, drive as if though the German army was behind you. But it is. Then you have even more incentive to drive. Oh, vicious assault here, but not so much doing the edge of the infantry. MP40s mopping up the rest. And Guards infantry arriving here for Kapare. Mortar round getting frightfully close, actually doing some nasty work there. Then it is supported by the officer moving in to intercept. And a quick grenade here against the Grenadiers. Does a bit of a kill there, but rifle grenade. Oh, flies a bit too far there. Looks like Hans misjudged. Also noting fuel caches and munitions caches going up on either side of the fight. And there go Mechanized Armor Company followed up with a tank battalion command. So while their initial buildings might be the similar, they're going a bit more advanced and spread up for the later tiers. Scout car going to need reinforcements. Things quieting down a bit. We're noting here a second munitions cache up. Clearly, I mean, he's going to play to the advantage of his doctrine by the looks of it, which is good. Sadly, still no mines of the looks of it by Kapare. I can't help but feel that's a bit disappointing. On the other hand, of course, they've still got the scout cars about. Also looks like they actually haven't been using them for anything else. No snipers, no penal troops. And we're noting here that Redcoh has got himself shock troopers. And we're seeing here that Hans is pushing ahead. His officer, his infantry, his half-tack, support by the mortar. Bunker going up here to cover the flank from this approach, and scout car could also be moving in support. And Soviet MD-42 stopping their assault grenades in the tracks. Noting here, by the way, he actually hasn't used his doctrine an awful lot. He's only got one squad of assault grenadiers. We're not seeing a mechanized assault group either. We are seeing some Panzer Grenadier out, though. So it's pushing ahead. Scout car's going to follow up. No Guards infantry though, and there goes Scout car with its auto cannon.
With an MG-42.
Mit die Kampfwagenkanone. And there go rushing straight ahead into heavy Soviet fire. Verenor apparently mistaking his scout car with a tank. And there we go, good night, the mistake of doing such. And the house over here getting mortared. Kapare will need to pull back his troops from it before it ends up as a tomb like the previous one. But now the Soviets have broken open the west flank. Verenor has failed. Deutschland is in danger. While the Russians have the 420th Mechanized Brigade rush ahead again, going to flank another bunker. I mean, looks like they're very consistent in laying down bunkers, which is actually quite interesting to note. Using them to cover up flanks and other spots to free up troops for elsewhere. Interesting. But again, getting up late, but no, not this time around. A pack had been laid down a bit more in advance. And blowing up one scout car. Yeah, unfortunately, leaving behind only one scout car. We've seen Kapare going for T-70s. Also noting here the half-tech consistently keeping the infantry supported here. Nice job there. And munitions cannons going to get wrecked, so it's supply, or German supply lines cut off. Dealing with things over here, although might want something to deal with this. Panzergrenadiers, assault grenadiers rushing in, lots of automatics. Bundle grenade going off, only killing one poor bastard of the Soviets. Molotov in response directly on the Panzergrenadiers. It looks like a direct retreat is the result. Meanwhile, though, the Soviets just grabbing away so much heavy. Another scout car being engaged by another scout car. Lots of scout cars. Anti-tank drivers here from the Guards infantry. And mortar rounds flying in as well. Nice flanking about here. Hitting Hans's positions in the rear, but then driving in front of the bunker. You know, Yuri, I don't think I ever saw your driver's license. But this is the Soviet army, comrade. Socialism means no driver's licenses, I think. Light machine guns engaging Panzers and Pioneers, but they will need to fall back. The Sturm Gewehren are too close. Half-track rushing in. Mortar forced away. Might even get wiped out here. Half-track or scout car abandoned. Absolute chaos here. The German centre has been broken up. Quite nicely, by the way. And now we're seeing a T-70 rushing in as well. Guards infantry trying to get their half-track. They're very close, and there we go. Concentrated fire on from the officer engaging. Proving, Guards infantry will. Oh, they actually managed to escape, I think. Small relief there, I suppose. But things are getting a bit ugly here. Troops retreating. Heavy losses all of a sudden for Kapare. No infantry left. No conscripts. He suffered a bit too much there. Bit of a problem. T-70 though inflicting heavy losses. Half-track is a smouldering wreck. A large bonfire. And that seems to be one of the slightly larger problems that are currently happening for the Soviets. While they're actually pushing through very hard and, you know, doing a lot of damage at the same time, they're probably taking a bit too much in return, which is less good. But we are noting here a support armor corps is up for Verenor, or at least going up. The Pioneers might want to get reinforced, otherwise it's going to be very, very hard work there for Heinz. Nice flank here from the Panzergrenadiers, taking advantage of things. Conscripts are going to try and intercept, but that's not really going to do much. The shock troopers taking the long, hard slog through the water. S-35 moving up. Troops need to move out. More tanks on the way. T-70 still holding on. And basically causing a large mess. While a pack is slowly being pushed forwards. Also finally getting around to taking back that point. Again, mines though would be great. Mines would be great. Kapare. Noting, by the way, we are seeing mechanized support up for the Russian player here. But it's actually rare you see that many bunkers up in a game. And noting, by the way, they're not fully relying on them either. But actually got a stable force. Also looks like Hans is finally getting enough infantry. Was a bit short on that for a lot. Mine up there, great by the way, great. That was less great though. T-34 rolling ahead, looks like the bunker will go down. Need to be careful of that. And looks like there's a flamethrower ready to be secured. Panzer Grenadiers take a loss. Another half-track out here for Hans. Popping over to Redcoh. We're gone for... Bit hard to tell. I can't remember which one is which. I think it might be the anti-infantry though.
This is not how I wanted to die!
Where's the terror? I'm so not used to seeing either of those doctrines, so when one of them actually uses either, I'm a bit confused to which is which. A bit shameful, I must admit. But of course, he could use fear propaganda or just a nice incendiary artillery barrage for the right spot. Large assault going in here, lots of guards infantry combatants with lots of flamethrowers, munitions cashed down. I think the head-on assault here is a bit dangerous considering everything, and bomb grenades that almost get the Panzer Grenadiers in one go. Need to retreat. And there we go, concentrated fire, and that's definitely going to mean the Germans will win this engagement unless someone fires an incendiary artillery barrage down to support their ally, but that's clearly not happening. Flamethrower tanks burst open. Mortar rounds falling through the sky, and there we go. Full retreat, T-34 needs to pull back as well. Still no mines. Come on. Redcoh or Kapare for that matter, but there we go. Having good success in the snap, and again, nope. Heavy infantry losses going in from both side players. I mean, they're really good at being aggressive. Less good at actually, you know, ensuring they don't lose too much in the aggression. That's a bit of a problem. And we're actually noting here Stuke 3 Ausführung E out for Verenor. Pushing out with lots of infantry, Mr. Verenor. He could consider getting a Katusha or an SU-76 to deal with some of the infantry. T-34 getting hunted down by the pack, followed up by lots of, let by a lot of infantry. Going to need to quickly rush up some infantry to hold that.
SU-85 under attack. We are losing territory.
Definitely not having much luck with that SU-85.
Red Army, at your service.
Also floating an awful lot of resources. Is he playing at a KV-8? He could still get some other stuff while he's waiting for it. More T-34. And there you go. Will he call in the KV-8? That could prove reasonably effective.
Heads up! We're taking fire!
Come on, Redcoh. Make a decision. Make a decision.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands. We are ready for anything.
Come on, you got plenty of stuff we need out. And meanwhile, on the right side, Kapare fights, though engaging the pack 40 like that is not so good. In particular, wants inspection T2.
All units are here.
And there we go, KV-8 on the way. Half-tech almost down. Can the T-34 escape? The wrath of the Panzer Abwehrkanone. Looks like he's able to escape with both T-34s. That's bloody close. Quick grenade on the pack crew. Doesn't do much. Oh dear, Kapare is being, a bit too cocky there. Although there's an anti-tank rifle he could try and pick up. Oh wait, got a bit lucky then, pulling back his T-34s out of the way. Well done. KV-8 rolling up the flamethrower tank. And a bit of reconnaissance overflight going in there, trying to get an idea of the German positions. Not bad. One Panzer out here for Verenor. KV-8 stopping up right in front of a pack. Not really the best place to stop up for a quick gander at the map and then burning away. Russians, though, seem to have suffered a bit of a reversal at the moment. There we go, he actually managed to clear out the pack from the front, even with a Panzer IV firing away. That says something about the strength of the KV tank. And there we go, the Panzer IV actually went down, and the KV-8 is still functional, burning away, sauteing German infantry. Pack recruit again, but the KV-8 could quickly clear it out, and the unfortunate assault guns left to handle it. Grenade joining in as well, absolute chaos, hell on earth. And now the only thing left to contain this madness is the Stuke 3E. Can it do it?
Fresh units on the field.
No, by the way, they would not have been crewed by panzer crewmen, but by artillery crewmen, as the Stooks, in particular the early ones, were part of the artillery, and thus were seen in fact as the elite of the artillery, and thus were actually crewed by artillerymen. Fun in fact they even had their own uniforms. Oh, mortar got spotted here. I mean, the Russians are quite handy when it comes to actually flanking about, but at the same time, they do seem a bit on the reckless side, which does lead them to taking more than less than necessary losses, which is a bit unfortunate. But otherwise, I mean, they actually got a lot of good things considering this. Otherwise, having trouble with certain units, they're very aggressive, and they're also not the type to just charge in and cause a meat grinder. But more half-tanks moving out. I mean, my God, Hans must have lost a ton of half-tanks. Either way, it's time to put back to Verenor. Also time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is a bit grim on both sides. I mean, it's a bit of a slaughter on both sides. The Germans are suffering, but the Russians tend up suffering a bit more at times, which is less than good. Verenor at the moment has only got 2 squads of Panzer Grenadiers, some Pioneers, and a bunch of MG42s. Everything else is a smouldering ruin on the battlefields of Eastern Europe. That's a bit of a problem, and of course his opponent is getting a bit ascendant now. He's still on a pack, he's got H-35, of course he's got a KV-8, which is more than happy to torch his infantry, which is a bit of a problem. And in that sense, he needs to perhaps get he could try and set up for the Tiger, but he simply doesn't have the fuel, and of course he gets a fuel catch. Otherwise, more packs, or try and get up some Sturmgeschütz might prove the trick against his opponent. Or perhaps upgrading at least one squad with the Panzer might also help, but with a KV-8 out, he is going to need something a bit more armoured. I mean, or a lot of packs, otherwise that thing's just going to roast his men alive. Looking at Hans here, I mean, he's got an even smaller force. On the other hand, it's also considerably more elite, and he's also playing around rather nicely with his officer around his infantry, consistently using concentrated fire, which is good. Interestingly enough, I mean, he's not actually making very much use of his doctrine. I mean, he could easily have used relief infantry several times. That way had something a bit more in Mars to back up with. I'm not seeing tactical movement, light artillery, anything else, which is also a bit odd, considering, he did go for 2 munitions caches at one stage. In that sense, I think he could stand to try and actually use this one. It might help him with his infantry, constant lack of it, and perhaps a few Stooks at the moment might also prove nice against all the armor his opponent, Mr. Kapare, is launching against him. For Kapare himself, more infantry would help, but also more tanks, repair the ones he currently has. Another fuel cache might also prove helpful for the Soviet course, and perhaps in the longer run, trying perhaps him up for an ISU-152 or for some bombing strikes. A well-placed bombing strike, in fact, could prove to be quite devastating against the Germans, in particular if landed, I think, against Verenor, I think would be the most vulnerable to it. And finally, for Redcoh, again, he's got a bit more infantry now, he's got a pack, he's definitely the bit stronger standing up the Soviet players at the moment, but again, one mistake and he could all throw it away. He's definitely got plenty of manpower, and he needs to stop floating. It seems to be a bit of a mishabit he has. But again, get us up some fuel caches, or get out some more infantry, or some field guns, something. Just get out some stuff and push. He could also consider some snipers, which might prove quite handy against the infantry that his opponent Verenor has. Anyways, back to Verenor, back to the fight. Pulling back here, going to reinforce his troops. T-70 needs to pull back. Don't repair. There's a pack, there's a half-track, there's infantry which can be reinforced. Don't do it right there. I do think Kapare is misreading the situation. Note, by the way, the infantry doctrine is a free doctrine if you're curious about it. Already available now, even you don't pay for them. There you go, T-70 under fire, and once more. No, we're actually now seeing tactical move, just about to complain about it. Amazing. T-34 is rolling ahead. Oh dear, that was just a massacre. Fuel cache is actually now going up for him as well. Lovely, lovely. Grenadiers rushing ahead, using tactical moves to Panzerfaust. Lovely. Not sure what's going on at the moment with the Bandicam. First time it's acting that erratic. My apologies right there, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently my computer decided to throw a little fit, forcing me to restart the computer, so apparently that was also causing a bit of a lag there. Anyways, Back to the fight. T-34 getting blasted, needs to get away, but a bit difficult with a damaged engine. A quick grenade here. Can they manage it? No, that was a rather unspectacular grenade. Bit of a dot there. T-70 though could try and flank up pretty quickly, and looks like this T-34 managed to escape nonetheless. Kapare somehow has been reasonably good in keeping his tanks alive. Going to flank up here. He should have focused down the Pack 40, of course. The Pack 40. Oh, there we go again. Tanks and half tracks advancing. Kapare advancing rather seriously. Oh, the pack gets recruited again. Looks like it should be time that Hans here retreats. Rückzug now. Unless you fancy being target practice for Boris and Ivan. Oh, the officer went down and he was veteran. He took an absolutely devastating blow right here to Hans. Although now summoning up several Sturmgeschütz. The Kampfgruppe Miller prepares. Pack here decrewed. MG42 somehow managed holding all back. Troops moving up. Verenor holding up somewhat the left flank, but it's not looking too good, though. Then again, Redcoh is not having an awful lot of luck either.
Reinforcements! The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Actually, I think I was supposed to switch the colours there. Oh, never mind.
Panzer here.
But a bit of a tenuous front line. Bunker being repaired. This is the easiest repairs ever. Yeah, we just need to lay down more sandbags. A bit of a frightening situation right here. Things are a bit tense. Panzerkampfwagen 4 arriving for Verenor. KV-8 will need some repairs rather swiftly. Looks like the... oh, there we go. Just coming up, and the panic can't spot the combat engineers. Tanks getting repaired. Machine guns laying about. Not a lot of infantry, and definitely should get those guards infantrymen moving up quickly. Perhaps he might even move up the half track, load them up, then get it back down there quickly, you know. Transport his troops. With all haste, comrades. Other way up, Panzer 4 launching ahead. And right in front of the pack. Getting blasted there. You might want to switch off the flamethrower, Yuri. It's a Panzer, not a Panzer Grenadier. Oh, follow up here by a light artillery barrage going in from someone. Likely from Verenor. And then the S-35. Well, wasted that. Panzerkampfwagen. And there we go, going tracking as well. Good job there using veteran abilities. More to recruit. Tanks need to move up to support. And again, where's the guard infantry? Come on, Kapare. And looks like, by the way, note here the positioning of his Stooks. He's sending up what looks like for an assault, but noting he's also ensuring that it's going to be a bit more spread out. They can still support, in fact, fight at the same spot. They can't be so easily focused on the other hand by the opponent, which does make it rather nice and easy, for example, also in case they might get flanked. Grenadiers, Panzer Grenadiers advancing. Flamethrowers and other fun stuff. Guards infantry might be careful. They're trying to cross the waters, but right from the Stook. T-34 here needs to pull back. Should not hang around in front of that Sturmgeschütz. There we go, flanking. Grenadiers moving up with their Panzerfaust most likely. Oh, Stook got time to turn. That was less good. Bit of unfortunate armor handling here. T-70 should have been in, and the guards infantry still not... oh, never mind, there we go. Also, I suppose we got them, although they seem to have all taken heavy losses. And there we go, T-34 down. Or a Stook as well. It would seem, in fact, he got himself a third Sturmgeschütz. Guardsman down to one man, forced to retreat. Stook advanced up pretty hard. Half track needs to get out there. Mortar crew getting wasted, though still actually doing some surprising amount of damage there to the Germans. Half track down. T-70 rushes in the midst of everything. Combat engineers following up, but again, due to the way the Stooks are placed, they can't really do an awful lot. This T-70. Since again, one will always be able to cover the other with this amount of distance, and there we go. T-70 down. Brutal engagement right here. Kapare should not have engaged, he should have pulled back. Or at least tried to find another way to deal with the Stooks. Instead, he'd rather spread them out right in front of the Stooks, which rather made it easier for the Sturmgeschütz. Looks like we might be seeing the S-35s react to this. West falling to Verenor. In fact, it's time to have a look at him. Who is also getting Stooks. Fascinating. No Panzer IV spam either. This is definitely a bit of your Less than usual play, though I'm not complaining.
Is ready for use.
And there we go. Die Sturmgeschütz. Shock troops here caught in front of a heavy machine gun. The results are as predictable, not very fun for the shock troopers. Quick grenade. Kills half the bastards. More shock troopers following up here. Redcoh certainly fond of his shock troopers, and there we go. At the same time, KV-8 charging in. T-34, S-35 providing support. I'm not entirely sure it was necessary to actually waste the tanks in this. But I'm sure Comrade Stalin would disagree. It was very necessary, Dane. Very. And looks like the KV-8 will go down. I can't help but feel that's a bit of a waste. And there we go. Veterans in 2 Sturmgeschütz up. KV-8 down. An absolute armoured massacre right there. In that case, I mean, Hans should have pulled back his assault guns. Instead, you know, they were rather left out there and blasted to bits from a safe distance by the assault tank destroyers. Though again, you know, I don't feel it was necessary to waste the KV-8 and the T-34 on that. That seems, you know, a bit poor mathematics. Looks like another KV-8 to have for Redcoh. Though enough, he actually hasn't used a lot else of his doctrine. I mean, I've seen no real use of, for example, the propaganda bits. Kapare with 3 squads of Guards infantry, that's an awful lot. With nothing to seriously back it up with. Points getting secured. Looks like Redcoh is very fond of using the KV-8 H-85 combo, having the KV-8 soak up the damage, kill the infantry, and of course having the H-85 supported. That's actually an interesting tactical formation, certainly not necessarily a bad one. Though again, I mean, no point in still wasting the KV-8 if it can be avoided. That still seems a bit silly. Another officer out, but basically he's only used the officer and tactical movement. There's been no use of relief infantry. I can't help but feel that's a bit unfortunate. Lots of mortar fire. Another Stuttgart here for Hans. A bit of aerial reconnaissance. And there we go. Concentrated fire up. The Guards infantry escape are going to be in for a world of hurt. And there we go. Kapare wisely retreating in the face of a well-lit German force. Slowly advancing, but they need to speed things up a bit. Victory points are down. There we go. Having the KV-8 lead the charge, clearing out the bunkers and any infantrymen who might be caught. There we go. Panzer Grenadiers. And there we go. Toast. A la Stalin.
Yes? Our opponents are seizing the sector.
You might want to focus on the victory point, Redcoh. Priorities, priorities. The fuel point is not a victory point.
Our forces increase.
Despite what the Americans might want you to believe. Take that and secure it. But looks like a large Soviet advance here. Light artillery barrels going down here from Verenor. And take the time to look here at Kapare. Again, it's basically down to 4 squads of Guards infantry. That seems a bit excessive. Stuke here opening up the KV-8. KV-8 looks about to go down. There we go. Rushing straight into a pack field. Well placed there by Verenor, by the way, and well handled. And that's going to result in a wasted H-85, although another Stuke did blow up. Victory point is being secured, but at the same time, the right-hand side is losing because now Kapare, of course, low on everything, is rushing all of his troops in one horde up the centre, neglecting the right-hand side, opening up for Hans here to lead with a small infantry assault. And apparently these Panzer Grenadiers now, besides having a flamethrower, also... Nope, looks like they lost the flamethrower, actually, never mind. But have Panzerschrecks. And looks like he might be playing at the ISU-152, though I don't think the victory points speak in their favour. And there we go. Guards infantry straight down into Hans and Verenor's strong point. Not necessarily the best of ways to approach things. Also note, besides, supporting infantry with the officers, he's also already got a half-track near it. Actually, a reasonably clever mechanized formation, if you will, or motorized. Shock trooper clearing up, but then neglecting to defend the point. Need to be a bit careful there, Redcoh. Your victory points are your priority. Another KV-8. I mean, he's certainly putting those KV-8s to good use, to a certain extent. He's also being a bit reckless at times. And there you go, another Stu 3E, but this time being dealt with rather harshly by Guards infantry. Guards infantry ignoring the victory point again. I can't help but feel the Soviets have missed the point of victory. Oh, that was a terrible pun.
Points. Failure is not rewarded.
There we go, nasty heavy losses. And of course, lots of Stug. And then we go another KV-8.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector. LMG team ready. Taking fire! We are dying here, comrade! Make it quick!
And shock troopers rushing straight into an MG-42. IC-152 finally available. It does cost a threatening large amount of fuel, though.
Heavy tanks standing by.
Anyways, I would say this is game over, Ivan. Oh, never mind. And there we go. Game over. A bit of a brutal fight here. And again, I mean, I'm not going to claim this is the highest level of play. I would say it's reasonably, mid-level, reasonably competent. There's still a lot of things, to iron out, but, they've got the basics. I mean, clearly the Soviets also had some clever ideas, pulling off some rather nice mobile assaults, very maneuverable. They didn't just, bash their heads consistently into a wall, which is actually a huge step up for a lot of, more novice Soviet players and even some moderate Soviet players. So in that sense, very well played. I think the problem was a bit, for example, I mean, he had mechanized support, he never used marked target. Mines were also something that was desperately lacking from either Soviet players, and while they were actually able to execute some really nice assaults, I mean, particularly the one around the 12 minutes mark where they just bashed into the center, tore open this German front line, you just left everything hanging to bits there. I mean, again, there was something lacking there, and they had a bit of tendency of being a bit too reckless at times. For example, again, the interesting KV-8 2H-85 formation. I mean, for example, he charged the KV-8 for no apparent reason. So in that sense, I mean, they are a bit too reckless. They're a bit too cavalier when it comes to the losses, which did end up biting them a bit in the arse. And they also seem to have a bit of a hard time, grasping the point of the victory points, which definitely bit them in the arse. But otherwise, I mean, they actually played rather nicely. I mean, it was actually nice to see some less used stuff. I mean, great to see actually the Special Flight Command and the Scout Cars being used reasonably nice. I mean, they didn't just charge them into grenadiers, but they actually sought out the nice soft spots and, tore them out. For the Germans, I mean, Hans, could have done with a bit more infantry. He could have done much better with his doctrine overall. I mean, he barely used anything out. I feel that was a disappointment. But otherwise, I mean, the use of the officer, great. And actually, the nice little combined arms formation with a half-track the officer and then some infantry around it were actually proved to be quite handy, having a small but solid spearhead he could slowly push forwards, and which didn't need to be pulled back for reinforcements. So that was actually reasonably nicely played there, although he was a bit neglecting picking up enemy weapons. I think that could have helped him. Verenor also did alright. I think he could have done with a bit more assault grenadiers early on, but otherwise, I mean, he did, reasonably well. I think he could also have gone for a Tiger, and otherwise, Stugs, always great. Though again, right around here, they should have been pulled back. They should not have been that close to the front line. They should have been behind the infantry, not right next to it. So there you go. I hope you learned something from this. This is more the primarily it of it, but I also hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some inspiration for some new strategies and tactics yourself. If you did, why not subscribe? Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Perhaps not those, but tell everybody else. And feel free to tune in tomorrow. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.